And you pointed out, certainly do some time watching as we see him shoulder to shoulder here about to begin. Crowd is so cooperative with the start, respecting the gun and the gun sounds. And here we go. I like Great Bend as maybe a dark horse at 10.48. But, you know, Carroll, it's hard to, with Andover, Carroll and Andover have some pretty good battles being in the same classification. But you can never count out Newton. Newton has got a good squad here at 4x800 meters. I mean, there's Mays South's got a good time. They're spread across here. This could be pretty close.
Yeah, there's Andover. There's also DeSoto in there. So it just, yeah, it's going to be a wait and see. All are capable of putting up some pretty big numbers.
You talked about Blue Valley Southwest. And I think maybe something we could talk about is when they go to the state championships, traditionally the Western teams have meets against the Western teams. The Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League, City League, then they all stay west. And then certainly the Sunflower League and the leagues in the Kansas City area and down the southeast kind of have their own meets. And so they really hear about one another, but they don't compete against another until they get to this stage. And it really brings out the best in anybody when they get together. And a lot of these times they're seeing each other for the very first time.
They are, and it does make a difference. You really wonder what the other teams have in the tank. That is Hannah Robinson of Lenexa St. James that was leading just briefly there, but it is a big stack of runners. I don't see this getting strung out. I could be wrong. I might be mistaken, but I think this is going to stay pretty close for at least the first half of the race.
Yeah, Lenexa St. James started in the 8th lane alongside Pittsburgh. I like both of those teams' chances to see what they can do. But this is backstretch, first leg, and it is Hannah Robinson. Hannah Robinson is the sophomore. She'll run alongside Jill Jones, Mary Getz, and Catherine Moore. A couple of sophomores and a pair of seniors for the Lenexa St. James girls 4x800 meter relay in class 5A.
There's Molly Haymaker from Mill Valley in second place, trying to get herself hiked up to the front here as they come down for the first exchange.
All right, running about 2:04 at the moment.
Boy, those are great times. This is not slow by any stretch of the imagination. You're looking at two kids that are going to probably run under 2:22. Actually, 2:20. That is
fast
outstanding.
Time. These two teams shoulder to shoulder next to St. James. And let's watch the first exchange, as we've mentioned before, as we watch the other races. Always a little bit interesting, but we're well executed, at least at this point. Man, traffic jam.
You wonder how there are not more collisions.
Boy, I don't know how they do it. It's amazing to watch. But a great job as we have a new leader here. 14:09. It's like the bib number. That's Molly Ricker. Is that Mill Valley?
Yes, that is Molly Ricker.
Okay, so Mill Valley. Molly Ricker's just a freshman. And alongside, she's the youngest of the group. She's got Delaney Kemp, Britton Nelson, and Molly Haymaker. 1 through 4, Haymaker being the sophomore, she'll be the anchor leg, but Molly Ricker has taken control of this one, at least for the moment. But first, second, and third all close together on what is now lap 3 of 8 in class 5A. Checking the runner from Lenexa St. James Academy. Is that looks like Jill Jones?
It is Jill Jones wearing number 815 on her bib and trying to challenge for the lead here.
Interesting that this race, unlike the others, the leaders starting from the inside lane and the outside lane, lanes 1 and 8. That typically doesn't happen.
One thing you've seen here, and if I were the runner from St. James running around the turn on the outside, if you're going to pass them, pass them. If you're going to run shoulder to shoulder, just get behind them. There's no reason to run the extra yardage running out in lane 2. But now they are running pretty much shoulder to shoulder down the backstretch.
All right, here's the backstretch indeed. Mill Valley, St. James Academy, and got a third trio at the moment on what is lap number 4 of 8 in the 5A 4x800 meter relay on the girls' side. Time is good, 4:14. That's down. That's a real good time right now for the first 2 legs here. Third leg coming. St. James Academy to the outside. The pride factor. One of these girls wants to be in the lead.
You're looking at a couple of legs that are going to be sub 4:20.
Mill Valley will lead. First baton, St. James Academy second, but third place right there. We're in the lap 5 of 8 in the girls 4x800 meter relay in 5A. Who's in third for the moment? trying to check there's the rest of the fields. They come through. Looks like Carroll's in about 6th at the moment.
Is that Southwest?
Yeah, we'll get some help. Might get some help on that. See who's in 3rd place at the
We
moment.
get a bib number right
Yeah.
here.
We're on lap 5, that we know. And it was Lenexa St. James Academy lead, Mill Valley chasing. And 3rd is falling back to, I think that's, I think, in our 16-team field in the program. But I guess Blue Valley Southwest. I think Southwest is in 3rd. And if so, this being the 3rd leg, Blue Valley Southwest baton holder would be McKenna Paulus. She's a sophomore.
This is Mary Getz for Lenexa St. James.
And for Mill Valley, the 3rd leg belongs to Britton Nelson. She's the senior, the lone senior in the 3rd leg. 5th lap about to come to conclusion. And we go the 6th lap, and it's still Mill Valley and St. James Academy. Blue Valley Southwest is in 3rd place.
Yeah, that's Paulus with the baton. Starting to fall behind a little bit. They got themselves up towards the front, but then just couldn't hang on to it. Kind of running out by themselves now. About 20 meters behind 2nd place, but well out in front of 3rd, as these 3 teams have easily dispatched of the rest of the field.
Backstretch, 6th lap of 8. Girls 4x800 meter relay in Class 5A. Mill Valley, Lenexa St. James have gone back and forth, and St. James Academy leads, but a kick's coming right now from Mill Valley. See Mill Valley's Britton Nelson is making a charge for the lead. Lenexa St. James Academy felt the footsteps, did Mary Getz. Mary Getz holding off Mill Valley for the moment, but the two were pushing one another, extended that lead to a sizable advantage, about 30 meters now over 3rd place.
Now Haymaker was the number 4 on the list for Mill Valley, but she actually ran an earlier leg here, so we'll see who's getting the baton.
Anchor leg coming, lap number 7. And who gets that baton? Scheduled to be Catherine Moore from St. James Academy. We'll check the bib number, see if that indeed is the case. Meanwhile, it is Moore, and then Molly Haymaker. So Haymaker and Moore. Haymaker trying to deliver one for Mill Valley. Look at this. This is a fast first half of this anchor leg. The next to St. James Academy's Catherine Moore is really shot out in front. Look at that. The lead from 5 meters to 20 meters pretty quick.
Well, that is Delaney Kemp wearing 1402. She was number 1. They actually changed, swapped the number 1 and number 4 runners for Mill Valley. And Kemp leading off, but she's actually anchoring, and Haymaker actually led off for Mill Valley. So a little bit of a change, but we'll see if it makes a difference, because right now she has a little ground to make up.
They're allowed to do that. Kind of confuses us a little bit, but so be it. Delaney Kemp carrying the baton for Mill Valley. Meanwhile, St. James Academy has controlling this for the moment. It's Catherine Moore, the sophomore. Bell lap happening right now. Lenexa St. James in the lead in Class 5A. Girls 4x800 meter relay has entered the final lap.
This is such a long lap, because you are starting to get tired. This is where your arms really start getting heavy, and to keep your rhythm and keep a good stride going is so important. You see that stride, the hands going straight forward, straight back, never crossing more than the center line of your breastbone. And just a great arm swing, good stride, head nice and still, just what you want.
Impressive textbook. That is an absolute great fashion. Does the runner from St. James Academy at the moment, who is Catherine Moore, who now has 200 meters to go in the race. That separates her from a gold medal for St. James Academy. 5A, 4x8. Now watch the time. We've now dipped just below 9 minutes.
This is going to be fast. This
is
could
going to be a really nice time.
Outstanding time.
Moore, they ran a 10:23. They're going to shatter that. Lenexa St. James Academy, Catherine Moore to the finish line. The crowd recognizing the time here, 9:15, 9:20. St. James Academy is going to win the gold medal in the 4x800 meter relay in 5A, and this has got to be really close to a record. This is a unbelievable time.
It is the easily by 3 seconds best, their fastest time in the state. They came in with a 9:23. They run unofficially 9:19. And that is a great finish. And you see the crowd. Again, this is a knowledgeable crowd.